We've all likely come across misleading information about everything on the internet, haven't we? Today, we're going to talk about a fake story related to medieval spiral staircases. At first glance, it sounds quite reasonable, but the more you look into it, the less sense it makes. This picture surfaced and created a buzz among history enthusiasts. Its content goes like this. Staircases in medieval castles were often built in a clockwise spiral so that defenders, who were predominantly right-handed, could easily use their swords. This design disadvantaged attackers climbing up unless they were left-handed. The uneven steps were also meant to give an advantage to defenders, as they knew the dimensions of each step, while attackers would be more prone to tripping. This piece of information drove online history buffs wild, sparking heated debates. Some argued, hey, there are castles with staircases that spiral counterclockwise, so not all of them were built for right-handed defenders. Others countered, oh, that's because the castle guards were left-handed. However, this argument lacks evidence. Tour guides often share this story as an interesting fact, but there's no solid proof to support the claim that spiral staircases were intentionally designed for defensive purposes. The most reasonable explanation is that clockwise spiral staircases were built to allow right-handed people to place their hands on the central column for balance while descending. Moreover, medieval staircases were incredibly impractical for combat. The steps were small, the passageways narrow, and the steepness made moving difficult, let alone fighting. If someone tried to fight on these stairs, they would likely fall, putting both allies and enemies at risk. In reality, spiral staircases in medieval castles were primarily used to connect important parts of the fortress. If attackers had already breached the defenses and made it inside the castle, the battle was essentially over. At that point, defenders had nowhere to run, and having a slight advantage in wielding a sword with the right hand wouldn't make much of a difference. In conclusion, medieval spiral staircases were not designed with defense in mind. They were simply built for their aesthetic appeal, and aesthetic came at a cost. The staircases were steep, handrails hadn't been invented yet, and moving up or down wasn't easy. Today, staircases at popular tourist sites have been fitted with handrails and remodeled steps to ensure visitors don't trip or injure themselves during their tour.